I'm out of breath for hauling these boxes in here. I went to this garage sale. Was fishing around in the garage. Lady, I asked this lady, is everything for sale in here? She goes, yeah, everything's for sale in here. I'm fishing around in all these boxes and whatnot in the corner of this garage. And I run across 2 boxes of old karate magazines. And guys, it was like the 1980s. A 1980s hand came out of the box and slapped me right across the face. You gotta understand something, guys. In the 1980s, if you were a kid in the 1980s, you wanted to be a fucking ninja. There was no way around it. Everything. Let me tell you something. You have no idea how much respect. Let me just show you. Look at this, guys. All right, I'm going right here. See this? This is a full box. I got 2 boxes like this of 1980s karate magazines. Let me tell you something. Just owning these boxes back in the 1980s made you a black belt. And I got news for you. You know what? Back then, everybody knew a black belt. Somebody's uncle was a black belt. Somebody's da-da-da. You could have had somebody come from out of town. Somebody nobody knew. You say, yeah, he's a black belt. And let me tell you something right now. You wouldn't go near that guy with a 10-foot pole. You had the utmost respect for him. You wouldn't talk any shit to him. I mean, and the guy would probably never ever have to prove himself. This is, you know what? This was before MMA. MMA ruined the black belt, ruined karate altogether. Now it's like, you can't even go out to a bar and get into a fight with somebody in fear that they're going to throw you into a fucking arm bar and rip your arm off. I won't fight anybody in a bar anymore. These motherfuckers actually practice MMA fighting. It's not fair. But guys, back in the 80s, look at this shit. All right, this is all you needed to become a superhero. You could literally become a superhero. If somebody saw you have these magazines, you were a superhero. That's all there was to it. What an innocent time. Look at this. Special karate. Official karate. Hold on a second here. Oh my God. Fighting stars. Bruce Lee on the cover. Look at the focus and concentration on this guy's face. He's going to put out that candle with his fucking mustache. Oh my God, Kung Fu. Inside Kung Fu. This was it. This was all you needed. This was, oh my God, this guy's smashing a ceramic pot with his heel. Oh my God. It's inside Kung Fu. What else we got here? Hold on a second. Oh my God, the white ninja. He's fighting the white ninja in the snow. What the hell is going on here? He's gonna get a shuriken right in the neck. Oh my God. 1980s, you ever see a guy coming down your block wearing that suit? You better fucking jump behind a van or something. You better get the fuck out of there. Look at this. Hold on a second. Look at this, Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris on the cover. That was my big claim to fame. When I went to karate, I studied Chuck Norris's style of karate. And that was Tang Soo Do. Okay? And my sensei was Jack Rigney. Look it up. Look it up. He was actually a bare knuckles fighting champion. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. What a badass. Here we go. Holy shit. What are those things? Are those sais? I don't even know what those are. Anyway, listen. Hold on a second. I'm too excited right now. Look at this. What do you got here? Guys, there's literally hundreds. Oh my God, look at this Dragon magazine. Oh my God. Karate Illustrated. Look at this. This is back before women had bodies like Kim Kardashian. Karate Illustrated. This reminds me. Listen. Jack Rigney, anyhow, was bare knuckles fighter champion. Okay, he was about 7 feet tall, and we had magazines all in the dojo. He was on the cover of probably these magazines right here, Karate Illustrated. I probably have Jack Rigney in one of these magazines. In the 80s, he was a badass bare knuckles fighter. Okay, he opened up his own school, and I joined up. And let me tell you something, I used to spar with this guy. I would come in with my gi on, and I'd have pads on my feet. This guy used to come in with his fucking jogging suit on and a pair of Reeboks. And he used to give me full power side kicks right into the wall. I would see stars. He used to punch me as hard as he could. And you know what I used to think to myself? I used to think, okay, this is the way, I guess this is the way it's supposed to be. Maybe he's trying to toughen me up or whatnot. No, he's just kicking the shit out of me because I was like a helpless kid. And I think about that now and it pisses me off. Yeah, so then, after he'd get done beating me within an inch of my life, then we go back into the dojo and he'd try to sell me like a soda out of the refrigerator. It's like, hey, you won't want to buy a soda? Trying to sell me a can of Coke for like $2. And then trying to sell me karate patches for my gi. It's like, no, you know what, Jack, I'll pass on the soda. I'm just going to go use the bathroom now and wash the blood out of my mouth. And you want to know the other thing? Then we go into the locker room, because we had like a big dressing room. And I got news for you. I'm like 16, 17-year-old kid, 16. And I don't know about you guys, the last thing I want to do is pull my fucking underwear off in the fucking locker room. Jack, the fucking jogging suit comes off, he pulls down his pants, he's got a fucking dick down to his knees. It was like, oh, it's like the last thing you needed to see. This thing was swinging around, big fucking purple loggerhead. But anyway, I see him at the grocery store now and again. I don't say anything, I don't know if I recognize him. He's old as fuck now. He can barely walk. You know what I feel like doing? I feel like running up to him and fucking side kicking him right into like the meat case. And then just like grabbing a London broil and shoving it down his mouth. Here, take that. That's for having an enormous cock. But anyway, and another, I don't know if you guys are getting sick and tired of these fucking stories. I used to go with my buddy Frank Smith to karate. And Frank was like, you got to understand something about this kid. We were in the 6th grade, he had a full beard. Okay? He was like 15 years old working at his father's mechanic shop, dropping 8-speed diesel transmissions out of like straight job fucking tractor trailers. The guy had forearms that were like, they looked like corded wood. They were just like striated forearms. They were covered in hair. He had a full beard. He was like a man. I'm 40 years old. I still can't grow a beard like Frank. Anyhow, Frank would go to karate, and Frank was like, he got me into the karate, but Frank was the type of guy that would get into fights with everybody. Some people I never got into fights. I was the most like, I don't know, non-confrontational guy alive. Frank would just was like a fight magnet. And I remember half of Lindenhurst was outside our karate studio one day. And they came to kick Frank's ass, because Frank kicked we were from a different town. So the Lindenhurst kids came over, and it was like a 1980s movie, man. I mean, we looked out of the window of the dojo, or the studio there, and it was like the whole parking lot was filled with kids. They had like chains and stuff. It was crazy. And what does Frank do? Like me, I probably would have held my breath until I passed out, or hid somewhere in a locker. Frank runs to his gym bag and pulls out this. He had a baseball bat that he had sawed in half. So it was like real compact. He could put it in his gym bag. And it was wrapped with tape so it had really good grip. He went and grabbed his bat and he starts running downstairs to go fight these guys. Like, no fear whatsoever. No fear. Frank was like running on testosterone. So I'm like, you know, all right, Frank, I'll see ya. Listen, I'll meet you back up here when you're done. So my karate instructor, my sensei, Jack Rigney, he's got his gi on, right? And he goes running downstairs after Frank. And Frank's out there and he's in some kid's face. Everybody's ready to brawl. And my sensei comes walking out, you know, and he's got his karate outfit on. I mean, you want to talk about a ridiculous scene. And he goes, all right. He goes, there's going to be no fighting in front of my dojo. And I swear to Christ, one of the kids in the back goes, okay, go back inside, Mr. Miyagi. And that was just a classic move. Anyway, adults garnered a little respect back then. I mean, today they probably would have disemboweled Jack in front of his own karate studio. But back then, adults kind of, you know, you had respect for adults. So the crowd kind of dispersed. And we went back inside. He grabbed Frank. We went back inside. And anyway, we finished up our class. And then we get our bicycles. And on the way home, a group of about, I swear to you, 15 kids surrounds us on our bicycles. And I remember Frank saying to me, because Frank knew I was a fucking pussy. He goes, don't get involved. Don't get involved. Frank gets off his bike. He has one of those locks. You know the locks that used to lock your bike up? It was deemed like the indestructible lock. Liquid nitrogen couldn't even cut through it or whatever. It was like that horseshoe lock or whatever. He had one of those locks on a mount on his bike. He pulls it off. He goes running at this one kid and he hits him right under the jaw with it. Kid goes right down. And that's all. And then he goes running after the other kids. They all like little rats. They just split everywhere. And that was that. We hopped back on our bikes and we left. That's what a fucking badass Frank was. Oh my God. Here we go. All right. So anyway, I pull the 2 boxes out. I say to the lady, I say, how much you want for the 2 boxes of karate books? She says, $10 each box. So I'm thinking to myself, you know, they're old magazines and whatnot. I said, you take 12 for the 2 of them? She goes, fine, I'll take 12. I was like, great. Get the boxes out. I'm about to pay for them. And a daughter comes out. And she's like, oh, you buying the karate books? She goes, do you like Bruce Lee? And she's asking me if I like Bruce Lee. Do I like Bruce Lee? That's like asking me if I like jerking off. So she's like, let me call my brother. She calls her brother, and the brother comes down, and he's got this whole box full of Bruce Lee, like books, memorabilia, I don't know. So I'm like, this is the icing on the fucking cake. Listen, I don't know how anybody feels about Bruce Lee now, but back in the 80s, you don't understand something. Nobody could kick Bruce Lee's ass. That was like it. It was Bruce Lee. I don't think there wasn't that. I don't know how to explain that, but it was Bruce Lee. There was no wrestler. There was no MMA fighter. It was Bruce Lee. He was the guy that could kick everybody's ass. That's it, hands down. I mean, it was mythical. It was magical. So anyway, here we go. Look at this stuff, guys. This is like, I don't know, from Japan, China. I don't know. It's in a different language. Oh, God almighty, look at this. Jeet Kune Do, I think that was his invented style of karate. The art and philosophy of Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee, king of Kung Fu. Nobody would argue that. The world of Bruce Lee. Look at this. We got Bruce Lee's yearbook here. No, I'm just kidding. Bruce Lee, 1940 to 1973. Nice hard-covered book here. I don't know, Bruce Lee. Look at this. I guess the little biography of Bruce Lee there. I don't know. Look at this, guys. Oh my God. More books from China. Well, I should say Japan. I think I don't know if they're backwards. I don't know. Here we go. Look at this. Kung Fu Monthly. Look at this. This seems to be all the issues with Bruce Lee on the cover. Oh man, look at this guy. Who was in better shape than Bruce Lee? Everybody wanted to be built like Bruce Lee. Everybody. You would do the push-ups on the knuckles, you'd do the pull-ups. Look at this. Wow. Wow. This guy took really good care of this stuff too. A lot of it's in plastic. The Mystery of Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee. These are like, I guess, like graphic novel type sized books. His Unknowns in Martial Arts Learning. Some more magazines featuring Bruce Lee. Wow. Another book, either Chinese or Japanese book. Kung Fu Cinema of Vengeance. Dear Bruce Lee, a compilation of sentimental, remorseful, controversial letters on the superstar. Another hardbound book, Bruce Lee. Oh, look at this. Bruce Lee Nunchuck in Action. Let me tell you something right now. I know I harp about this. Listen, if you were a kid in the 80s, listen. Let me explain something to you. My father gave me a Swiss Army knife for Christmas. It was like, I didn't get it at the time, but it was like a real bonding thing. It was like, here son, here's your first knife. Ba ba ba. My friend across the street was Billy. Billy was like the degenerate of all degenerates. You know, I'd go over there, I'd listen to heavy metal records. He would cook pot on his stove. He would dry out his pot buds on his stove while his single mother was out working all day. He had a stack of Soldier of Fortune magazines that we would look through, and he would mail order Chinese stars. And yeah, Chinese stars, and we'd have the Chinese stars and we'd whip them all over the house into the walls and everything. It was just like completely lawless in there. So I traded my knife, my Swiss Army knife, for like 5 beat up Chinese stars. I mean, they were all scratched up and whatnot. But if you had Chinese stars back then, I mean, God almighty, you show somebody your Chinese stars? I mean, you don't even understand. So I remember one time I'm like whipping these shurikens around the neighborhood, like into trees and stuff, into fences. And my father comes outside. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, you know, I showed him like these Chinese stars." He said, "Where'd you get these?" And I was like, "I traded Billy for my Swiss Army knife." And oh my God, did my old man flip out. "You're gonna take these back to him. You're gonna get your knife back." Ba 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 ba. But I couldn't do that. I couldn't really do that because then I would have lost a friend. And Billy, like, you know, it would have been like Indian given. It was like something that you couldn't do. So I don't think I ever wound up getting that knife back. Anyway, Billy went on to murder a guy in a wheelchair. The guy had $5 under his wheelchair. Billy tried to steal his $5, and I guess the guy in the wheelchair put up a fight somehow. I don't know how you put up a fight in a wheelchair, and Billy shot him in the head. So that's Billy for you. He's rotting in the can now. But anyway, how do we veer off? Oh yeah, and nunchucks. I mean, listen. Hold on a second here. Oh, look at this. Who killed Bruce Lee? We all know who killed Bruce Lee. It was the Chinese mafia. What was he doing? He was making movies for, I don't know who it was, the Shaw Brothers. He was making movies, but for some movie company owned by the Chinese mafia, the Triads, right? And then he went on to make Enter the Dragon, which was more of a Hollywood production, I think. I think it was more of a Western production. And that went on to make, like, so much money. And then the Triads were like, oh yeah, fuck you. And that's what killed him. Come on, don't tell me aspirin killed a Bruce Lee. Because I ain't buying it. Who killed Bruce Lee? We all know. Come on, we know. Oh, guys, look at this. Real kung fu. I mean, it goes on and on. Look at it. We didn't even touch. Whoa, what's this doing in here? Rocky 3. Oh, wow, wait. Look at this. This is great. There we go, Clubber Lang. I always loved. Never mind. Wow. Bruce Lee. Anyway, you get it. You get it. Kung Fu. More Kung Fu. Here we go. So that's it. Here we go. That box, we probably got through half of it. Not even. That's one box. Two boxes. Look at these. Look at these. Alright, I know you guys are probably getting bored to death, but look at these. Woof, woof. How exciting. Anyway, guys, I thought I'd introduce you guys to, not introduce you, but check out these old karate books because I think they're really cool. And that's just a real blast from the past, and I figured I'd share them with you. Okay, Bithead 1000, I'll see you next time. Oh, by the way, if anybody's wondering, the Bruce Lee box, $10. So it was $22 altogether. Okay.